Hello everybody, this is Stephen Howson, this is Full Time Devils, this is the Full Time Review Show, and this is the video where you can find us on a Monday morning and we're going to have a little bit of a chat about what we saw with Manchester United this weekend. So, this week is going to be a little bit different. For this season, we're going to be a little bit longer, we're going to be a bit more interactive, we're doing it live, we're going to be chatting to you guys in the comments. We've got Jose Mourinho's presser coming up, we should have that every single week. We're going to have Statman Dave's 3-point review, we're going to have the fan cams, and we're going to have the lads from United on YouTube as well. And if you've got a United YouTube channel and you want to get involved, then this is the way to do it. And we're going to have a bit of a chat after every single one of the clips that I show as well. So make sure to get in the mixer. If you want to see my fan cam from yesterday, I'm not going to be covering the game in as much detail as I did in that. So go check out the fan cam once you've finished watching this video. How is everybody doing? Is everyone all right? Doesn't it feel good to be top of the league? It's only one game. We're not getting carried away, but it does feel good to be watching Manchester United put 4 goals away and have a really good solid performance from the team. That was what impressed me yesterday. I thought the attitude of the players was fantastic. I thought the spirit of the team was absolutely fantastic. It was good to see Manchester United stroll up and actually bat a side away that we're supposed to bat a side away. That felt good to me. So let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. So, Anonymous reckons that Bale would be a quality signing. Why am I not in the rain in a chair? Well, it's not raining for starters, and we can't do it live. And chat to you guys in the comments if we're doing it from outside Old Trafford. So we decided that this was going to be a better one for us to do. So we're going to be doing this one. Matic is a cracking player. I think that's going to be a comment that I'm going to be reading on a lot today, I think. Matic definitely did it. Aidan B says a 2-striker system for Lukaku and Rashford or Martial. Now, there's something I wanted to talk to you guys about because I've seen it in the comments here while we was waiting to come on live, and I've seen it mentioned a few times yesterday. People thinking that 4-3-3 is a more defensive formation than 4-2-3-1, and I totally disagree. Now, when you play 4-3-3, for me, you've got 5 attacking players. The 2 midfielders that you play are attacking midfielders. You have 1 number 6 and 2 going forward. When you play 4-2-3-1, you've only got 4 attacking players because you play 2 number 6s. I don't think we needed 2 number 6s. I thought we would have benefited from having that extra attacking player against a team like West Ham yesterday. First half, it was very congested and it was hard to break them down. Second half, I thought we did that a lot better. Josh says Matic over Kante, maybe. Matic unleashed the Pog beast. I don't think he did unleash him yesterday, actually. I thought Matic played excellent himself, but I thought Pogba was a little bit restricted by the positioning of some of the other players in the team. Danny Rose, maybe. Not talking about transfers just yet. Let's keep it just on the football. Ibra isn't worth bringing back. Well, he's free, so I guess he is. There are different 4-3-3 formations, says Legend Killer 1. Do you know what? I completely agree on that. Stoke used to play 4-3-3 and Barcelona play a 4-3-3. Would you say that they're the same formation? I wouldn't. Josh Atkinson says, exactly right, we can send Pogba up and keep Matic a bit more back. Yeah, that's what I want to see. I think that's the way to do it. Do I think Herrera will be in and out of the team this season? I honestly hope not, mate. And that's from Ryan. I honestly hope not. I think that under Herrera, Matic and Pogba need to be the basis of what we build our team around. Whether that's a 4-3-3 or whether that's a 3-5-2. I just don't think 4-2-3-1 suits this team. I think football needs to move past it. Everybody's playing 4-2-3-1 at the moment. And if everyone's doing it, it's time to do something different. Matic, the best player yesterday, says Nath. I think I probably agree on that one. It was great to see Lukaku scoring goals, wasn't it? Absolutely clinical. But, yeah, I think Matic was phenomenal. Did anyone actually realise how good he was with the ball at his feet? We didn't see that from him at Chelsea, or I certainly didn't see that side of him at Chelsea. Knew what we was getting defensively. But offensively, he was absolutely top draw, wasn't he? Tony Marshall came from France, says Zeke. Absolutely correct. We're going to win the league, says Mr. Architecture. I think it's a little bit giddy. We've got 37 games to go. We started off well last season as well. The difference is we need to be consistent right through our first lot of European games. That's where we cocked up last season. We need to be better in and out of Europe this year. So we need to be consistent, getting points in Europe and picking up points back in the Premier League post-European games. Front three of Martial, Lukaku and Rashford. I think you need someone who can create in there a little bit more than that. But maybe. Depends on what you line up behind them, I reckon. Legend Killer says, no, everyone playing the 3-5-2. Not everyone's playing it, but it is becoming more popular. That's because 3-5-2 is a brilliant antidote for 4-2-3-1. Abdullah Saeed says, will I be on the FTD podcast? Well, why don't you guys let me know by hitting that like button and let me know if you want me on the FTD podcast this Thursday and who you would like to see me on with. Lindelof is trash. I think that's a little bit harsh, mate. I think you need to chill out on that one a little bit. Who is our main centre-back partnership against us anonymous? I think, for me, it would be Bailly and Rojo. I thought they looked absolutely phenomenal last season. However, Phil Jones is somehow pushing his way forward as being a first choice. I thought he was excellent yesterday, commanding and really aggressive with the rest of his line. He was talking to the... I don't know if they're showing this on TV, but from the view that I get in the Stretford end, you're looking at the pitch like this almost, and you can see what's going on. And I just kept catching my eye on Phil Jones, constantly marshalling, constantly telling them to push up, constantly moving others around. And that's something that I think we've needed in the back line. Someone with the balls to be able to talk to people and tell them exactly what to want. And he was bullying Bailly verbally, but obviously it worked. And I thought he had a good game individually. So I think Phil Jones might be going with it. KJS FC says, is Gomez back with the under-18s? He played 2 times this weekend. They beat Juventus 1-0 on Saturday and then lost to Real Madrid 2-0 yesterday. Gomez coming off the bench both times, scoring a goal on Saturday as we beat Juventus, but unable to help yesterday with the result against Real Madrid. By the sounds of things, it was a game of 2 halves. We played our stronger team in the second half after already being 2-0 down with our younger side against a very experienced Real Madrid side. And from the lads that I've spoken to, once Angel got on the pitch, once Galbraith, the new lad that we've got from Northern Ireland, got on the pitch, once some of our more senior players like Nissan Burkhardt got on the pitch, it started to pop off. And apparently Real Madrid couldn't really live with us, but we couldn't get the scoreline back. So it'd be interesting to see what happens if we meet in the UEFA Youth League this year, which is something I'm really looking forward to. People asking for a score prediction versus Swansea. Let's have a look back at it and let's see what Jose Mourinho's got to say. Let's keep it on this weekend's game just for now, because I'm sure we're going to be talking plenty about Swansea in the days coming up. So let's see what Jose Mourinho had to say yesterday in the post-match press conference.
Many times last season we deserved to win and we didn't. So the fact that we won the match was the most important thing. But I think the quality of our performance, based on confidence levels really high. And I'm not going to say that the performance was perfect, because it wasn't perfect. We made our mistakes. We have room for improvement, obviously. But it was a solid performance, and I liked the attitude in the second half. Winning 1-0, come to the game and try to score more goals. After 2-0, we had a little bit of a relaxation, and was a period where Slaven brought Sako and they create a couple of situations in the box. But then again, good stability, good confidence levels, desire to play until the end. So good, really good. I brought him to Stamford Bridge because I thought he was a player with special qualities. And since I left, I always thought that he could be a perfect player for us. But I didn't disturb him. I didn't disturb Chelsea. I never thought it was possible unless something special was happening. And it looks like something was happening, because his agent told me, you can have him, you just have to pay. So we have him, and we are very happy with that, because he's a player that our team needs. And now we have, with this kind of qualities, we have Nemanja and Michael Carrick. And Michael, in spite of his age, he has a role to play. So I'm happy with these players that I call stability players. I think Real Madrid was too early for him. He played because Jones and Bailly, they were both suspended. I had players coming from different leagues to the Premier League, and normally it's not easy. The difference between Lukaku and Matic is exactly that Lukaku and Matic, they have years and years of the Premier League. I brought in 2004 a phenomenal central defender to England, Ricardo Carvalho. He was one of the best central defenders in the last decade in the Premier League, but he struggled. was difficult for him to come and to adapt in the beginning. I think Victor needs a little bit of time, and he's going to have that time. Mkhitaryan is not a defender, and last season he needed his time. So let's go step by step, because Victor is a fantastic player. You know, I think last season we were also top of the league with goals in the first match, and we finished sixth. So this means nothing. I want to make it clear. This just means that we played well and with confidence levels really high. And now our challenge is to keep. I'm not saying this level of result, because in the Premier League it's not often that you win 4-0, but to keep these confidence levels. I think as I told, we can be a better team than we were last season. I think we can. Second transfer window for us. Now 13 months of work together, so we have better conditions to be a better team. You know, we finished the season winning the Europa League and qualifying for Champions League. We start the second season with a very good performance at home. We had 2 new players on the pitch with a very good impact. The fans, they have reasons to be optimistic, because we also are optimistic. But you know, for me, years and years of experience and years of experience in the Premier League, and my feet are on the ground, and I'm calm. You know, he scored in the Super Cup, he scored today, he's playing well, he's working hard, he likes the team likes him, and for any striker, goals are, they can play phenomenal well, but if they don't score goals, the pressure is on them. So I think good for him, good for Wayne Rooney, for Lacazette, for Morata, for all the guys arriving in new clubs and scoring goals in the first day is always oxygen, is always happiness and confidence for them. Romelu knows me well. He knows that sometimes strikers, they can play very well for the team without scoring goals. He knows that from me, no pressure at all. But today was good and very effective, very objective in the first goal especially.
So there we go, that's Jose Mourinho. That's what he had to say about yesterday's game. Now, I've got a few points that I'm going to talk about from what Jose said in his press conference, and then I'm going to come to you guys in the comments, and then I'll go on to my next comment. I've got like 4 or 5 points, so I'll give my comment, and then I'll come to you guys and see if you guys agree, disagree, or have no interest in whatsoever in what I'm saying. So the first thing that I'm going to go over is what Jose started off talking about, and he said, we deserved to win loads of times last season and didn't. Today we got the win and we deserve to win. That was a nice change. I totally agree on that. I also agree that it wasn't perfect, it was very solid, and it was good to see the players having a good attitude. And those are the things that I think are the real positives to take out of what we saw yesterday. I think there's tweaks of the formation, I think there's tweaks of the starting 11, I think there's little things that we can definitely improve on. But the base overall solid thing is that we got 3 points from a game that we deserved to get 3 points in. And so many times I've been stood in here and I've been talking about how Manchester United totally dominated the game, had tons and tons of shots, and just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And I think what we saw yesterday, and Jose touched on it in his press conference as well, he said what we saw from Lukaku yesterday was very effective. He had 4 shots, 2 of those resulted in a goal. His first 2 shots at Old Trafford resulted in 2 goals. One of them was blocked, one of them he ballooned over. But that was the difference for me, 50% conversion from shots. Now, if Zlatan had had that last year, we'd have been looking at like 65 goals from him or something like that. Now, that's obviously going to dip as the games go on. Lukaku's going to take way more shots. But the finishing, and people can call him a flat track bully all day long. Cool. It's about time Manchester United started bullying teams. And I thought that was the biggest plus for me yesterday, is that it felt exciting to watch United. And it felt like we could score anytime we wanted. There was times last season where we would be attacking and you'd almost have a sense of dread. And you'd be like, I don't think we're going to get over the line here. And for the first half an hour or so prior to Lukaku's goal, there was moments that I felt like that was the case. But once that first goal went in, it was on almost certainty that we was going to score more, and I think he was very close to getting a hat-trick as well. If he'd have got a couple more shots, I'm absolutely certain he would have picked it up. Now, let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. There'll be a lot of 5 and 6-0s this season from United, says Brian Lineker. Wow, that's a big call, mate. 5 and 6, 5-0s, maybe 6-0s. I mean, the song is we often score 6 and we seldom score 10 in it. I don't really remember ever seeing United scoring 10 and 6. That's pretty rare as well, isn't it? Josh says, I think the core team is solid, but like you said, a few tweaks here and there, and I think we will start looking up. Bill says, everyone chill. Jose had no first team, just a squad he picks for every opponent. That's a very interesting point, actually. Jose Mourinho is a manager that sets his teams up to play the opposition. Now, there's a lot of managers out there, Guardiola being one, Rafa Benitez being another, Klopp being another, where they set up their team and this is how we're playing and deal with it. Whereas Jose Mourinho, Sir Alex Ferguson, and other really, really good managers. Now, there's no right or wrong in this because people have found success doing both things. But Sir Alex Ferguson would certainly change the team, drop goals and bring Nicky Butt in and go with 2 defensive midfielders rather than someone a bit more attacking. He would definitely change the team up and go with a team that would beat the opposition. Now, when you would be playing a team that you're expecting to finish in the bottom 5 or 6 of the Premier League, Sir Alex might go with more of a set starting 11. But people roast him Fergie's reign a hell of a lot and forget that he used to play butt over Scholes or stuff like that on a regular basis. Ritesh says, I loved clean-shaven Jose in a suit. Looks so much more positive this season. Yes, mate, absolutely. I was going to talk about that, actually. Was Conte in a suit this weekend, or was he in a tracksuit? I think we've changed him into Tony Pulis. Jose looking good in a suit. I thought it looked absolutely fantastic because Jose at times last season looked really disinterested and he almost looked like he put on a sad face to walk out at Old Trafford. It didn't feel right, whereas yesterday, in a suit, confident Jose back again. Second season syndrome could be about to kick in. Jason says, let's get another 4-0 win. A 4-0 on the way on the road to Swansea would be absolutely fantastic this weekend, wasn't it? Rob says, it was great to see United play the United way, always on the attack, looking for more. I agree on that one. Tony Pulis is similar to Pep. Tony Pulis plays the opposition as well, actually. Tony Pulis will, he obviously has his own philosophy, which is vastly different to Pep, but he got some banging results out of that Stoke team. He used to bully Arsenal every single week, which, let's face it, everyone can do that, can't they? Tracky Conte. Adam McCullough's getting a red beard. Yes, if you don't understand what that's about, we are going for 500,000 before the end of the season, and if we do that, I'm shaving my beard. But if we get 600,000, McCullough's got to dye his red to go to Anfield in. So let's make that happen. United was absolutely fantastic, says Amayo. For a long time, I saw them play as a team. That's not a bad shout. Yeah, it was an excellent team performance. Right, some of the stuff that I picked up from what Jose was saying. He said Matic was a player that our team needs, and Matic and Carrick mentioned them together, talking about stability players. And I think this is the sort of player that he's always had in that team. He's had Makelele, he's had Essien, he's had this destroyer player with someone a bit more energetic and then a bit more of a creator. And you think of those, let's think of the Chelsea side that won the title. I think you had Ramirez alongside Matic and Frank Lampard, earlier ones. These are the sort of players that you see in Jose Mourinho's team. That's why I think a midfield three is the one that we really should be trying. He spoke about Lindelof. He said Madrid was too early for him. And then he spoke about how Carvalho struggled, obviously coming from the Portuguese league. One of the best defenders that the Premier League has seen, in my opinion. Carvalho was absolutely fantastic. I think he was the reason Chelsea was so successful, not that fraud, John Terry. And he goes on to mention that Victor needs time, he needs patience. And I think it's really interesting that Jose Mourinho talks about patience with some players when he hasn't exhibited any patience whatsoever with other people's signings. We saw Memphis barely given an opportunity. Schneiderlin got about 2 minutes, I think, literally 2 minutes, and was moved on. And I think it's interesting that he speaks about patience for some players, whereas there's players like Luke Shaw that I think definitely needs patience to come back from that horrific leg injury that he had, the leg break. So I do find it really interesting how Lindelof is going to be given patience. I want to see how Jose Mourinho changes him, because he is not a defensive defender. He's an excellent ball-playing defender, but his defensive stuff is not strong. This is where I see people saying that he needs to just settle in. Well, he's not needing to settle in. If you watch him for Sweden, you watch him for Benfica, he gets turned, he gets beat one-on-one, his positioning isn't great. What he does really well is the distribution from the back. He's got an excellent distribution from the back. He's pretty good cover. He's pretty good tackling when he needs to because he can chase back and tackle because he is quick. But I think defensively, he's a little bit suspect. So unless Jose Mourinho can fix his positioning, and I think he probably can, the one-on-one stuff probably needs a little bit of work still. But it'd be interesting to see what happens. And when Lindelof is actually brought in, it might be a while. We saw this with Mkhitaryan a little bit last season, didn't we, where he was out of the team for ages before he brought him in and he had the right mentality and everything like that. LWC1999 says, we need Ross Barkley. What? Why? What do we need Ross Barkley for? Does someone need the boots cleaning? Behave yourself, mate. Marco Maziotta says, love this game. Love our team. This is going to be our year. I can feel it in my balls. This team is full of amazing players. Okay. Ronan Sloan says, Lukaku is such a clinical goal scorer and I think we will personally steamroll Swansea. I didn't see how Swansea got on this weekend. Producer Chris, how did Swansea get on this weekend? All right, Producer Chris doesn't know. Awesome. Let me know in the comments. How did they get on this weekend? We'll check them out ahead of the preview this week. Do I like Blind at left back? Kinda, but not. I don't think he worked well with Rashford. They certainly didn't have any sort of chemistry yesterday. Jose taking his time with Shaw. He is taking his time with Shaw. After the game yesterday, for about an hour, United had a six-a-side game where the rest of the first-team squad, the likes of Tuanzebe, Shaw, and I believe Young as well, all featured in a little game on half a pitch inside Old Trafford, and the subs who didn't play as well. So it must be closer to fitness than we think. Swansea drew 0-0. There we go. Everyone's saying it now. So 0-0. Okay, thank you very much. So maybe we can.
Three-point review time. The new season
Eddie says,
is upon us.
we look like
Manchester United 4, West Ham 0. First up, got to talk about Nemanja Matic. What a debut at Old Trafford that he had. Bossed the midfield on his own. Well, not really on his own, but the defensive part of the game, the part when he's deep on the ball in his own half, controlling the tempo for United. Matic completed more passes than any United player and had more touches of the ball. But what he was so good at is breaking it up and just giving it to an attacker, playing that forward pass, something that we've lacked in defensive midfield for a number of seasons now. A guy that's dynamic, a guy that's quick, a guy that can take you on, a guy that can play defensive midfield but also join in the counter-attack. When he jumped out the formation and pressed Ogbonna deep in midfield and won the ball for United to score on that counter-attack, he followed the play. He was a passing option for Marcus Rashford. And that's something, again, we haven't had deep in midfield. A guy that's actually got the power, the pace, and, he's at that part of his career when he can make those, long busting runs from box to box. But anyway, Marcus Rashford was fantastic as well. And, Lukaku's got the plaudits from a lot of people, but I think Marcus Rashford is the guy you've got to watch this season. Fantastic at receiving the ball and driving at Pablo Zabaleta. Zabaleta had an absolute nightmare against Marcus Rashford. Every time Rashford got the ball, especially sort of in that second half, it was, something would happen. The goal that he created for Lukaku, a great run from inside, cutting the ball back, reverse pass to Lukaku, but you sort of saw that again and again and again in the second half, that he'd receive the ball to feet and he'd drive and he'd go. Marcus Rashford is going to be one of United's big players this season again. And at a young age, it's absolutely fantastic to see a guy from Wythenshawe playing for Manchester United, scoring, creating, arguably could have got that goal, the one that hit the post, lovely little shift inside, and that's what you got from Marcus Rashford. He's becoming a player that's so difficult to play against because he can do it all. He can take you on the outside, take you on the inside, shift you one way, then pull you the other. It's just great to see a young lad coming through the academy and destroying people in the Premier League. Relationship with Lukaku, that is starting to look very, very tasty. And to finish things off, we've got to talk about Big Rom, Lukaku. A great sort of performance at Old Trafford, took his goals very well. Excellent finish for the first one. Lovely. That left foot of his is going to be so deadly for United. And the header as well, a free kick. United didn't score many set pieces last season, but with Lukaku, with Nemanja Matic, with that more power, going to score some more set pieces. But Mkhitaryan needs to be the guy whipping the ball in all the time. Quality ball that he put in for Lukaku onto his head, but why is Daley Blind still taking corners? I do not know. But a great debut for Lukaku, who loves playing against West Ham. In his 13 appearances against West Ham United, he scored 11 goals and got 4 assists. So every time Lukaku will play West Ham in a Manchester United shirt, there's going to be goals. But anyway, make sure you go over to Statman Dave on YouTube to check out these points in a little bit more detail. I've been Dave. See you later. Over and out.
All right, nice one, Dave. Thank you for that. I wasn't midway through talking what I was talking about. Anyway, make sure you go and check out Statman Dave's channel. The link is in the description below. Go give him a follow and let's get Dave to 50k if we can before the end of this year. So there was things that I wanted to talk about what Dave was saying. So I'm going to get straight into those and then I'm going to come to you guys and see what you guys are thinking about as well. So he spoke about Matic and he spoke about the defensive side of the game and how he controlled the tempo. But I actually thought he was excellent with the ball at his feet, and I don't think we saw too much of the tempo, but I thought we saw a lot of how Matic just patrols that area and how calm and how relaxed he is. And it's that sort of experience. Let's not forget that Matic is a Premier League winning player, and that's something to really have in midfield. And as Jose mentioned about him being a stability player alongside Michael Carrick, I definitely expect to see Matic more often than not. And I would expect him to see quite loaded towards the front end of the season so we can get a bit of rhythm going, and then maybe you'll start to see Carrick rotated in, possibly even in Europe a little bit, depending on who we draw. We're going to find out who we got in that very soon as well, so can't wait for that one. So the other thing that Dave spoke about was Rashford. Now, yes, Rashford looks fantastic, but there's something that I saw yesterday in the game with Marcus Rashford that took me back a few years to watching him in the academy. Now, a couple of years ago, I wrote something about Rashford that he seems to play angry. And when he gets into the first team, or to really develop, he needs to sort his composure out. Now, it made me look an absolute idiot because all of the goals that he scored in his breakthrough season were the coolest to finish from the most difficult of circumstances. But yesterday we saw the Marcus Rashford that I saw in the academy getting into fantastic positions, beating the last man, creating opportunities for himself, and then blasting it over. He had 4 shots, not on target. No goals, obviously, and some of them absolutely levered. These balls still concussed or popped off in the bottom corner of the south stand from where Marcus Rashford levered them. I don't know what he needs to do to get back to that level of composure that he had last season and the season before, because those first few shots that he had yesterday, they was really reminiscent of what we saw of him as an academy player. I'm not going to say he's gone backwards because his game is so far ahead of what it was as an academy player, but that's just a trend that I saw from him as an academy player that I think he definitely needs to fix. All of his shots off target, not really good enough. Definitely needs to just chill out and improve that one aspect of his game, his finishing, because he creates so many chances for himself that you can see him. I mean, 4 chances yesterday. Lukaku had 2 goals from that. Rashford had no goals from that. Now, you can say about the position that they're taking the shots from and all the rest of it, but essentially 4 shots each. Rashford a little bit wasteful. Still young, still plenty of time to improve that. If you look at what Rashford's got compared to what Alan Shearer had at this age, at this level of experience, Rashford's far and away ahead of him. So I think that he's going to be all right, but that's just something that I think he definitely needs to be working on. And that was all I had to say about that for Dave. So make sure you go and give Dave a subscribe, and let's see what you guys are saying in the comments about it. I would still like to see Griezmann at United, says Elliot. Do you know what? I definitely think that we was in for him, and I definitely think it was only the transfer ban which stopped it. And I still think we was going for Lukaku anyway. I don't think Griezmann and Lukaku could have been even considered for the same position. And it makes me think that we was considering that 3-5-2 formation even more to play Lukaku alongside Griezmann, which is terrifying with the midfield 3 that's behind him, isn't it? I still think we need a little bit of something on that left-hand side, and once we get that, I think we'll be balanced. Josh Carroll, any major problems and notice that should be addressed? Just that left-hand side, just something a little bit different on the left-hand side, and it'll be happy days. What do I think of the Falcao chant for Lukaku? It felt mint being able to sing that yesterday for Lukaku. Doesn't quite fit, not yet, I don't think. I think it needs to get the cadence right, but once it does, I think it's a really good song. People were singing the Marwan Fellaini one, the Romelu Lukaku, and I don't think that fits. That's Fellaini's. Let Fellaini have that. I like the Falcao one for Lukaku. Stories up again that there's a deal on the table for Griezmann, says Anthony. That's very interesting. I haven't seen that just yet, so I'm definitely going to check that one out. I think Griezmann would be a massive asset to this team, definitely still, and I would definitely be checking that one out as soon as possible. Pogba playing through Lukaku and Griezmann. Wow, yeah, that's an interesting one. Shave Dave at 500,000 subscribers. Okay. Apparently Griezmann rumours have resurfaced. Yeah, I think that's obviously happened since we've gone on air, so we'll check that one out as soon as possible. What's happening with Aurea, and where do you think? I don't know. Wasn't he having a court case last week? I haven't seen the results of that, so I'm not sure. Costa could swing it. Oh, don't know about Costa. I think Jose would love Costa. I don't think I'd love Costa at Manchester United, though. Rashford isn't going to get the goals playing on the wing. I think Alexis Sanchez or Mahrez would be good wingers for us. He can still get the goals. He had 4 shots yesterday. You can still get goals from a wide area. Anthony Martial was our leading scorer a couple of years ago from a wide area, so you can definitely still get goals from there. It's not about the goals, it's about just rounding out that side of his game. I think he's doing all right creating for others, but I definitely think he's just got to add that finishing to be considered on that next level. KSMUFC, we should try out Demi Mitchell as a left back against Swansea to see how he works with Rashford and Martial. That's not a bad shout, but I don't think he's going to try him away from home. He's a very, very attacking fullback. If he's going to try him, he'll definitely be at home at a game that he's very confident of winning. Cheeky bid for Danny Rose. Well, Danny Rose absolutely chucked his toys out of pram last week, didn't he? So I think there's a very real chance that there could be something going on with Danny Rose. It remains to be seen what. I guess we'll find out. Would I start Rashford and Martial together as a forward 2? I don't know. You'll have to let me know in the comments what you think. Forward 2 there. Rashford's still one of our best yesterday. Absolutely, yeah. This isn't me having a go at Marcus Rashford. This is me just finding something in his game that I've already seen him do. I think he just got to round out in his game, and he'll be absolutely fantastic. Mike says something was mentioned yesterday about Griezmann because his club's selling a keeper, and Griezmann said he would only stay if they didn't sell anyone. So maybe it's just on the back of that and not actually anything really changing. And the reports from Don Ballon, which means it's not happening, says DM. Yes. Sibanda says, I hope Lingard never ever start a game again. I'm sorry, I don't understand, and I definitely don't agree with the hate that Jesse Lingard gets. No one's thinking Jesse Lingard starts every game for Manchester United. But I can tell you now, there is absolutely a time and a place to be starting Jesse Lingard. And I don't think it's every week, but I definitely think he's got a place in our squad and deserves a place in our squad. Borthwick Jackson or Demi Mitchell, totally different footballers. Borthwick Jackson's going to cross from deep in a similar way to Blind, but he's probably, in fact, it's no probably about it, he's 100% a better defender as a left back. Demi Mitchell, very Paddy Everish when he's going forward with the ball, interesting, exciting. So it depends on what sort of left back you want. I thought there would have been room for both of them, to be completely honest with you. Lingard is United through and through, says Nigel Green. I mean, that's not enough, but I think that's got to factor in at some point. The fact that they've stood on the Stretford end means something to me. Thoughts on our squad depth? I think we look pretty balanced. Not fully balanced yet. I think they're still here. I think we need proper wingers who take people on. I would love Gareth Bale. I'd go and pick him up today from Madrid and carry him home like a baby. But I think we look pretty good. We're not perfect, not by a long stretch, but we look pretty good. I'll take it. I think we're one of the stronger squads in the league, definitely. Lingard at left wing back, says Kem. Yes, I would have liked to have seen it yesterday, actually. I thought we were going to play 3-5-2, and I would have gone with Lingard as a left wing back. Not for what he can do defensively, literally for what he can do offensively. You don't need 2 really defensive fullbacks, especially when they offered nothing at all, West Ham, for us to worry about. So, yeah, I don't think so. Let me know in the comments as well. You've still not mentioned, do you want to see me on the podcast, and who do you want to see me on the podcast with this week, this Thursday on XS Manchester? Let me know in the comments. And we'll do a couple more, and then we're going to check out some of this week's fan cams. Thoughts on Timbo to Palace? Made more tackles than any other defender. Need to get him in your dream team. The tackle of the weekend, wasn't it? As long as he gets 30, 35 games this season, he's going to develop more than he would have at United. So good luck to him. Timbo FC, everyone's going to be watching. Is Joe Riley injured? What's happening with the lad? He's starting today at what looks like right wing against Leicester in the under-23s. So, no, I would say he's not injured. But I would expect him to go on loan, though. Right, let's have a look at some of the fan cams. We had some crackers from yesterday. Let's have a look at them.
Proper good, that. He looked good.
I've just bumped into this guy, and I swear, was the summer longer than I thought? Because I swear you've grown about 2 foot, your voice has changed. Charlie, welcome back.
Thanks, that was pretty amazing, and it was a pretty awesome welcome back.
United have won 4-0. Castro's curse is over.
It's over. It's coming to an end finally after years of coming in. Yeah.
Matt just broke the Castro curse. That's how important of a signing he is.
Lukaku though, dude. 2 goals. Could have had the hat trick, but it's all good. I mean, I'm a little sad though because Chicha didn't score. But I
don't Castro, don't do this to me.
Yes. Must be gutted that they sold Matic.
It must be, innit?
Absolutely gutted.
United back.
What?
United back.
Am I United back?
Are United back?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Let's go.
You agree with that?
Oh, hell yeah, I agree with that.
I was born in Manchester. I now live in London, and every single body who's put on Facebook, West Ham fans and Liverpool fans, come on, you Reds!
Built like a brick wall. It's fantastic. And David Moyes, look at yourself before you judge others, mate. You left us in a train wreck.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that you had something to say about David Moyes, who's been talking about signings and talking about Pogba and talking about this and that. Now, first of all, where does he get the right to talk about Man United from when he failed so much? But nevertheless, how are you feeling about that?
It kind of irritated me. What he said about Fellaini was right. He's a good player now. He's a part of the team. But Pogba, he's not a talented player. But you're not a talent anymore, mate, and you'll never manage again.
Who did he just get sacked by?
He walked out.
I said, Poundland ain't got no bargain on Matic, mate. You see what I'm saying? Poundland ain't got no numbers on Matic. I'm telling you, absolute bargain. Freed up the entire. Not only did he free up the entire midfield, he was free himself. He wasn't even want it. You know, the ones that's like, oh yeah, we're buying Matic to free up the midfield. Matic is gonna sit. Matic wasn't about sitting. Matic was about dominating, controlling.
I don't think we need Perisic with the likes of.
Tell him why.
Because we got Martial.
Exactly. Tell him again.
We got Martial.
He's our new number 9, big Belgian up top.
That's a big bellend, then. They're like, whoa.
And we're back. So, there's a couple of things that I noticed in the fan cams that I definitely want to be talking about. Good to see Castro and Chuboy. Nice of them to drop by and say hello to us. Andy Tate talking about Moyes, a little bit irritated by Moyes. Now, for those of you not seen what Moyes has said, it's absolute nonsense. So, Moyes contradicts himself within about 3 sentences. He says, is Paul Pogba the sort of player? Oh, he says, Paul Pogba is the sort of player that can change stuff for Manchester United. And then he says, is Paul Pogba the sort of player who can change stuff for Manchester United? No, I don't think he is. And he says, is he the sort of player that's going to give you a key pass in an important game or score an important goal? Well, Europa League finally managed to score one, David. So, listen, how about you don't worry about Paul Pogba because you're not on his level. You can't even see that level. You had your chance at managing a big club. You properly balls it up. So stop talking about Manchester United. Stop trying to blame other people for what happened at Manchester United. Do you know we would only be halfway through his contract at the moment, or 2/3 of the way through his contract? How terrifying is that? David Moyes, turn it in, my friend. Right, let's see what you guys are saying. Moyes tried to sign Pogba. Yeah. Well, he tried to sign Ronaldo as well. Didn't happen, did it? He needs to just stop talking. David, you just embarrass yourself every time you open your mouth. Can we get a loan watch and updates? Maybe. Maybe we can. The Griezmann news is Atletico saying they're willing to sell him to us next summer and take Ozil from Arsenal on a free. Cool. Andy Tate looks well, says Eddie. I honestly can think of a single reason why Chelsea would sell Matic. I think you mean can't. Licking my legs at the trio of Herrera, Matic and Pogba, says Vivek. There was a comment that I just saw down here was, what's with everyone's fetish of 3 at the back? I don't think it's a fetish. I think that football formations get found out. They become routine. When everybody's playing 4-4-2, everyone knows what to do. When you introduce a number 10 into that starts playing between the lines, it makes everyone worry, doesn't it? And then when people start playing 4-5-1, as Fergie did in the early 2000s, to pack that midfield out a little bit more, people have to change and adapt. And then the change from that came with throwing more attackers on and maybe going 4-3-3. So football goes in these stages where formations will be the in thing for a little bit. And at the moment, I think 4-2-3-1 is so ubiquitous that you need to change it. And someone that bangs out of there is going to make things happen with that. So I think that you've got to look at other formations. For me, 4-2-3-1 is the most stagnant formation. I don't like the position of the players in there. I prefer 4-3-3. I also really do like 3-5-2 for this Manchester United team to get the best out of the players that we've got. Sanchez on the left, says Simon. I think he's going City, man. But yes, I would pick him up and walk barefoot from London with him on my back. He's mega. We need Renato Sanchez, says Caleb. No, we don't. What are my thoughts on Tottenham trying to take Marshall? Will it happen? No. Daniel Levy's got some cheek, hasn't he? For the amount of money that he sells players for, throwing a bid in for 25 million for Anthony Marshall. What do you want? A signed photograph of him? Come on, son. I like switching between Mata and Herrera. Play Mata when teams sit deep. Play Herrera when you need a more combative midfield. Don't you think that Mkhitaryan and Mata occupy the same space too often, though? I think they sort of clash and cancel each other out a little bit. That I don't like. That I think you can do better with that. I'm going to plug my own channel here for 5 seconds. So I'm going to do a tactical analysis and show you how some other teams line up in the same formation that we use and how they have more balance to the way they do it. So check that out on my channel and I'll explain it more in depth on there. But let's get back to this game. Dinal says, no difference between 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1. You just have one more attacking player on the pitch. There's a lot of difference. There's a hell of a lot of difference. West Ham sang It's a Library yesterday. Did they? I didn't hear them singing at all. Would you start Rashford and Marshall on the wings with Lukaku down the centre? I would like that, yes. And if so, who's the backup number 9? Well, your 2 backup number 9s are already playing. So if there was an injury, God forbid, to happen to Lukaku, you move one of them centrally and you bring in someone else to play on the wings. He'll play 4-3-3 away against Swansea. I think he probably will. Marshall needs game time. He showed Jose that yesterday. I agree. You only get better with game time. You don't get better with training. Thoughts on a formation we played last night? What would I change? I don't like 4-2-3-1. I don't think we needed 2 midfielders sitting deep. You could have played a 4-1-4-1. You could have played 4-3-3. You could have played like 3-5-2. 2 strikers. Against a team like West Ham that are going to come and have a back 9, you isolate your striker up front on his own. And I think if you bring 2 strikers in there, now you're making them think about double the amount of players that's in and around that D. And I think that's where you're going to find something. Lingard comes on, says Chris. Yeah, it's probably the correct. All right, so United on YouTube is back. We've got Daniel for it this week. And if you want to get involved, then you know what to do. You know where to find us. And if you've got a United YouTube channel, then we want to hear from you as well. This is your opportunity to get what you want to say on a full-time review. So here's Daniel with United on YouTube.
A comfortable 4-0 win for once for Manchester United at Old Trafford. Really positive performance today for the first game of the season. Hopefully it's good things to come from Manchester United on the back of this win. Really pleased with that. We put our chances away today. We've created a lot of chances and put 4 goals away, which we didn't do a lot of times last season. These were the sort of games that we really struggled to break teams like that down. We broke them down in the first half. Lukaku getting 2. Also, Paul Pogba getting 1 who really needed a goal, and Martial getting 1 who really needed a goal. So overall, a fantastic day for Manchester United. Hopefully more to come from Manchester United, and we can move on now, looking ahead to the rest of the upcoming games.
So that's all we got this week. We've only got the one video. If you want to get involved, and we do want you involved, then you need to hit the description and send us a video. Go and give Daniel a subscribe. So thanks, Dan, for sending this one in this week. If you want to get involved, you know what to do, and we definitely do want you involved. Let's see what you guys have got to say in the comments. Tuanzebe is better than Jones, and Jones is better than Lindelof. Tuanzebe is an excellent defender, but there's still some experience, still some positioning that he needs to figure out in the first team. But yes, I would like to see him given some opportunities in the first team this year. What's my YouTube channel name? Imaginatively, it's called Stephen Howson FC. That's for football channel. What's happening with Lindelof? Jose mentioned in his press conference that he wasn't ready for Real Madrid. So obviously he's not ready just yet. Ribash says 4-2-3-1 with Matic and Pogba as a double pivot is balanced. No, it's not, because you're not getting the best out of Paul Pogba by having him sat so deep. Paul Pogba needs to be freed up and allowed to play in that final third. When you play a 3 in front of him, that means that the number 10 is basically blocking the area of the pitch that Paul Pogba needs to drift into to create his best work. You're restricting Pogba by playing him as a deep lying 6 in that. It's not really a pivot. You don't need him. You don't need 2 midfielders in that position at home. Matic is definitely good enough to do that. A 3 is more balanced because then you've got 2 people either side. They can both come back and then they can both go forward together. There's no balance in a 4-2-3-1, I do not think, for Manchester United with Paul Pogba. He's got to play in a 3. He can't play in a 2. Would I like to see Baye and Tuanzebe? That might be a really good blend because Tuanzebe is aggressive, but nowhere near the level of aggression that Baye is, and he's a lot more considered as well with the way he plays, and calm, very composed. So, what do you guys think? Give us some feedback on the format of this video. Do you like it? What do you think about the podcast as well? Let us know in the comments if you like the podcast, what you would like to see brought in for the podcast, anything like that, and who would you like to see brought in as guests for the podcast. That's going to be back on Thursday with XS Manchester, so make sure you check it out. Last couple of comments. 4-3-3 is the best formation for personnel that we have, says Suzanne. A lot of people saying the same sort of thing. 4-1-4-1 with Pogba playing ahead. Yep, it's basically the same thing. Do we need another striker in case of injuries? I don't think we do. I think you can play... You've got 2 backup strikers in Martial and Rashford. I think that's probably going to be enough. You've also got second strikers in the likes of Lingard, Mata, Mkhitaryan. So I think we'll be okay. I think we've got people who can fill in there. I don't know how we're going to see mega injuries like that. I don't want to jinx us, but that's the one. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, let us know what you thought of this, if you've enjoyed it and all the rest of it. Give us some feedback. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back next Monday after the Swansea game, where it's hopefully 6 points and still top of the league for United. And we'll see you in a bit. Laters.